YouTube. Hello, I am alive and green. Yes, I'm going for the full auto assembly thing with this video. Very excited now. Very excited. It's coming around so quick. It always does, doesn't it? It's sort of like the fulcrum upon which the year turns for me. You know how when you're a kid you look forward to Christmases and birthdays and that sort of thing. Well, it's auto assembly at the moment. Very, 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 very excited indeed. Oh, yes. Been away for a while. Busy. I know I say that every single video, but it's true. I'm busy at the moment. I've got lots and lots of stuff on. Lots of my sort of creative energy is going into something else and other stuff at the moment. So YouTube is taking a back seat, I'm afraid. That's just the way it is. I only do YouTube when I feel like doing it, because it's very much a personal. It's just for fun. It's just for pleasure, you know. I don't do it for any other reason, really. It's just for personal satisfaction. I never want it to become an obligation. Not ever. I've got more important things to consider, and to become obsessive about. That's the long and short of it. Although there are a couple of videos. I know that there are lots of people who want me to do videos about issues and stuff. There's a lot of stuff I've got to edit and to film about various different things. I've got a response to Richard Roy in the works, actually, the user Richard Roy, who asked me a really interesting question about memory and the sort of consciousness, you know. So yes, that should be very, very interesting. For the purposes of this video, though, going a little bit more frivolous, I got something really lovely in the mail not too long ago. I got a bot, a really, really lovely bot from eBay, and I only bought it because I wanted the sword. It's one of those things collectors often do. When we want a piece of something, we will buy the whole thing if it's at a reasonable price, and this was at a very reasonable price. So I now have like 2 of this bot, or these bots rather, because this is something very special. This is a very interesting set of bots. This is a Beast Wars combiner. Now, Beast Wars combiners, for my money, stand as the best combiners ever in existence. They even for all of their faults, and this team do have a couple of faults, they are superb. They are just amazing feats of engineering and design, and aesthetically they are brilliant. They are absolutely brilliant toys. I'm talking about the Magnaboss team, or the Maximal Elders, as they're also known, the Maximal High Council of Elders. They are just a really interesting team of bots, because in the background, these guys are the rulers of Cybertron, basically, along with the Tripredacus Council on the Predacon side, the Predacon Combiner Tripredacus, whom I've already done. They sort of hold Cybertron in a very, very, very loose political state, maintaining a tenuous peace between the two factions. Obviously, the Predacons and the Tripredacus Council are always working to undermine the Maximals, who are in a position of supremacy for the moment. Predacons are in the Beast era. Predacons are like second-class citizens or third-class citizens on Cybertron. They're very much looked down upon by the Maximals and kept in their place, which the Predacons, like Megatron, like Beast Wars Galvatron, like Cryotech, like Magmatron, they don't like it. They don't like it at all, which is why you get these rogue warlords, characters like Magmatron and Megatron and Galvatron, going off to try and initiate a new war, so they can resurrect the Predacon Empire. The Maximal Elders are not only the rulers of Cybertron, but they're also Autobots, and they're Autobots everyone will recognize. They are upgraded Maximal versions of ancient Autobots, and I'm going to do the first one now. This toy, this is one of the faults of the Magnaboss team. The combined form of Magnaboss is fucking spectacular. It's beautiful. If it was sold as just an action figure, it would be an amazing toy. The fact that it disassembles into these three components is just an added bonus. But unlike Tripredacus, whose individual components are wonderful, they could easily be sold as individual toys and they would be wholly successful. The individual bits from Magnaboss aren't quite as successful. In fact, this guy is probably one of the worst examples of a Beast Wars toy you're gonna find. And I'm starting with him in bot mode because the bot mode of this guy sucks. This thing is Beast Wars Silverbolt. Now, this isn't the Silverbolt who awakens on Earth during the Beast Wars, okay? This is actually the original Silverbolt, as in leader of the aerial bots, the G1 aerial bots Silverbolt, in a maximal body. And I suppose it could be called an upgrade of sorts. It's a bit shit, to be perfectly honest. It's like all combiner bots, it is compromised, but the thing with the Beast Wars combiners is most of the bots are not compromised to this degree. This guy is almost all compromised. It's just the bot with an eagle on the back. I mean, it's awful. It really doesn't work. What I will say for it is that it's, even given its lack of success, this guy is, compared to any of the G1 combiner bots, with the possible exceptions of the ones that form the bodies, this guy is just better to the power of n. He's still a million times better than any individual component from a G1 combiner. He's infinitely more posable, more detailed, his transformation is more interesting, he has better weapons, and so on and so forth. I mean, the sculpted detail on this guy is gorgeous, it really is. He's got tons of sculpted feathers and circuitry and stuff going on. He's unbelievably posable, despite having all of this shit on his back. He is unbelievably posable. Horrible head sculpt, and I mean one of the worst you're ever going to find in Beast Wars. It's too round. The details on it are fucking weird. It looks like you know what it looks like? It looks like one of the movie bots. You know what Ray I Love Mess calls a cat's arse look, where all of the details, all of the angles are inclining towards a central point. It's really strange, but you know, he's grown on me a lot in recent days. When you get him in hand, he's quite fun because he is very posable. You can get him into some really good poses. He has these lovely integrated weapons, which is another nice thing about Beast Wars. He has these things, twin swords. These are a problem too because they don't fit into his hands. They just sort of sit there like that, but they don't peg in properly. So if you do happen to turn him upside down or anything, that they just do not fit in properly, which is a shame because they do lend the bot something. They actually look really damn cool. Now, in terms of character, this guy, as I say, is the original Silverbolt, so he has all the characteristics of the original Silverbolt, but all of the benefit of having been alive for literally millions of years. He's a veteran of the original Autobot Decepticon war. He's seen it all. That's why he's one of the Maximal Elders, and he brings to the team a certain degree of compassion and consideration. He's also gotten over his fear of heights, by all accounts. In his original aerial bot form, Silverbolt was bafflingly afraid of heights. He's not anymore. In his eagle mode, he's actually quite happy. Now, in the cartoon, these guys didn't appear at all, and they only appear in the extended fiction once or twice. They are referred to a couple of times, though. As the Maximal High Council or the Council of Elders. They're not specifically named as the Magnaboss Council. But while I like to think that this is their form, their reformatted form. You know, after Beast Machines, after Cybertron becomes techno-organic and all of the Transformers are reborn into techno-organic bodies, I like to think this is what happens to these guys. Anyway, that's him in his bloody awful bot mode. I mean, it's just not good. His eagle mode, on the other hand, isn't bad. The transformation, for what it is, for what you get from eagle to bot, just isn't worth it. It's overly elaborate and annoying. You just have to take the whole damn thing apart and then it's a weird case of feeding the whole bot through itself, like threading the bot's torso through the torso of the eagle. It's one of the weird ass transformations that's just overly awkward and cumbersome and annoying that you get from these bots. You don't get it from the Predacon equivalents at all. It's just these guys. It is just a royal pain in the ass. It is really frustrating. It's difficult to do. This guy is composed of quite a brittle plastic, meaning the breakages are on the cards, which is why I'm glad I've got a couple of the damn things. It's the arms. The arms I'll show you in Eagle mode, but the arms are a real problem, the bot mode arms. Yes, I got it now, I believe. You know, Beast mode, not bad. Not bad at all. It's certainly not as heavily compromised as the bloody bot mode. And yes, I think we can go with that. There he is in his Eagle mode, and it's fine, you know, it's actually a really successful bird bot, apart from one thing. The robot mode fists stick out from the arse. There's no other way of explaining it. They just stick out from the arse, and it's very, very noticeable. A pity, because otherwise this could be one of the best bird modes in Transformers. It just looks so nice, and it's very, very poseable as bird bots go. The detail is great, you know, there's a fair range of articulation on him. It's just, for what you get transforming it into bot, it's a bit wank, to be perfectly honest. The very, very, very least of this team, I assure you. The next one is probably the most successful of the whole team, and is sure to be a fan favourite simply because of who he is. This little guy, and he is really tiny, he's about a scout class. This is Prowl, as in G1 Prowl, and he has, just like all the others, all the characteristics of G1 Prowl. The only difference apparently is that the years fighting the war have tempered him a little bit, so he's a bit less cold and calculating, and a little bit more compassionate, but he does bring a degree of patience and analytical precision to the ruling of Cybertron. He's lovely. He's a little former, and his head, he's obviously designed, he was obviously going to be called, like, I don't know, a prime or a primal of some sort, because he's got a head that is, it's an Optimus Prime head. It really is, but for some reason they decided to call him Prowl instead. He's quite a lovely bot, actually. There's not a hideous amount of kibble. There's these things here, but they kind of add to everything. It makes him look like he's got wings or something to that effect. And the detailing on the inside is friggin' gorgeous. It's all this techno-organic pipes and circuitry and stuff. Pretty damn cool. I like that. He's very, very articulate too. There's nothing getting in the way of his articulation. He would succeed as a standalone bot. Of all of these guys, he would succeed as a standalone bot. He has this weird ass weapon which is integrated. It's obviously part of the animal, and it's not terribly convincing. It's a big sort of, I don't know, what is it? Is it a sort of bludgeon, like a cudgel, or is it a capture claw? I don't know. It's a bit of the animal. The only real issue with this guy, because he forms an integral part of Magnaboss, the transformation is evil. It's an evil son of a bitch. I'm not even sure I'll be able to do it on camera, but we'll give it a go. God, what have I let myself in for with these? He has to be precise. That's the thing with this guy. He folds up in such a manner that both as part of Magnaboss and as a beast former, every single piece has to be in precisely the right place, or it just does not work. It just doesn't want to work. And that, let's see. It's folding the mane around the friggin' lion head. It is just a torment. And getting the legs in the right damn place as well. It's tortuous. It really is. But once he's done, he's a very nice little lion, and I mean little, he is teachy. Oh, what have I done wrong here? The legs are the wrong way around. There is a way of doing this. I know there's a way of getting this correct. It's a strange thing. The mane actually closes around the beast mode legs. It's very, very weird the way this works. But in order for that to work, you need to get everything in its exact position. Otherwise it won't close. It's evil. It's an evil, evil little son of a bitch. Again, very unlike Tripredacus, where although the bots are really quite complicated, they are intuitive. They're not difficult to figure out. Oh, God, what am I doing here now? There's something I'm doing that's terribly wrong here, and I can't for the life of me figure out what it is. Yes, I remember. I've got it. It's these things. There's this very elaborate configuration where the bot mode head goes inside this little compartment that's formed of bits around the legs, and they have to be completely precise, otherwise they just do not work. It's just a pain. It's a rare example of a Beast Wars toy that is no fun to transform at all. And wait till we get to transforming him into the head of Magnaboss. That's the real pain in the ass. Ah, yes, success! Woo! And in fact, in terms of the way he works, he's a bit like the original Beast Wars Cheetor. Now the little thing, I don't even know what that is, the sort of Cybertronian BDSM sex toy thing, turns into the rump of the lion and also its tail, which just fits onto the back there. And what you're left with after all of the blood, sweat and tears is actually quite a lovely little lion former. It's really cute. It's got great detail. I mean, it does have issues, obviously. I mean, it is compromised by the fact that it's part of a combiner. But you know what? As combiner formers go, this is fucking fantastic. I mean, look, there's very little indication of bot there. Lovely mane. I mean, that all-encompassing mane thing, although it's annoying, it's a really clever idea. It's kind of the designers showing off at how clever and intuitive they can be. And he doesn't have much in the way of articulation. His legs won't move because of the mane. His back legs can move, but you kind of wonder what the point is. He's quite nice, actually. In this, he's very displayable in this form. I'd probably display him in this form, were it not for the fact that Magnaboss himself is so ferociously good. So yeah, there's Prowl. He's lovely. Now. Next one. The next one forms the bulk of Magnaboss. And when I say the bulk, I mean, you know how the biggest one from Tripredacus is C-Clab. He's still quite proportionate to all the others. They're all actually really good sizes. The Tripredacus Transformers. They're all quite proportionate. These aren't. The first two guys are quite small. This guy is fucking huge. He forms the vast, vast majority of Magnaboss. And this is the guy. This is the one, if you are a G1 fan primarily or exclusively, and if you dislike the Beast Wars aesthetic of having, the slightly mutated Transformers that have bestial qualities and bits and pieces of animal hanging off them, this is the guy you will hate the most. This guy will just turn you off from this team completely. For my money, I love him. This is my favourite piece from Magnaboss. But be prepared, because this guy is a proper monster. This thing, this mutated, bizarre, weird creature is Ironhide. As in, G1 killed aboard the space shuttle in the original 1986 movie Ironhide. Obviously, either in the Beast Wars universe, that doesn't happen for whatever reason. It follows one of the other timelines, or Ironhide is resurrected somewhere down the line. But this is him. This is the original Ironhide in a maximal body, and boy, is it interesting. It's so strange. It's very alien. Look at that head. He just looks bizarre, doesn't he? Doesn't he? I mean, he looks mean. He looks really mean. And then he has these weird claws for hands. These tiny stumpy little legs. This shit going on. Halves of an elephant head on his shoulders that actually look like cannons, which is quite cool. Tusks coming down here. Bits of elephant hanging off of his backside. If you don't like Beast Wars for whatever reason, this is the toy. This is the one you're going to hate the most, because it epitomizes everything that's good and that's bad about Beast Wars. It's so freaky, so weird, so mutated, and so unlike a Transformer. That's the long and short of it. It doesn't look like a Transformer. It looks like it's from some other toy line, and I rather like that. I must admit, I think he looks great. I think he looks really cool. All of this kibble stuff it's kind of multiple choice. You can put it where you want. I tend to display it like that because I think he looks superb like that. I do understand why people don't like him though, and he is heavily compromised by the fact that he is in fact, he's not part of Magnaboss, he's the vast majority of Magnaboss. And he's also ultimate shell former. He is the very epitome of shell former. The elephant just closes around him, and that's basically it. Character-wise, he's pretty much the same as he's always been, except that he's a lot more patient now and a lot less violent. The wars kind of like tempered him. He's much more considered about what he does now. Still as obstinate as ever. He still basically does whatever the hell he wants, regardless of counsel and whatnot, but he's a little bit more patient and tolerant now. Now, oh god, transforming this guy. This is going to be interesting. I'm not even sure I can remember how the hell to do this, because it's, again, like most of these Magnaboss formers, this ain't intuitive at all. I know I said that the elephant basically closes around the bot, but that wasn't really the whole story. He is difficult to transform, this guy. You sort of have to transform him from the backwards forwards. You see, you've got the arse end of the elephant there, the part that's all business back there. Right, I think... yes, actually, I think I've got this already, he says. Several hours later. Now, this closes around that, like that. These tusks come down like that. And this is the bit. This is the bit that's fucking evil. It's closing the damn elephant head. You have to get everything right, otherwise the elephant head does not close. And then you're screwed. You can't do anything with it. You have to disassemble the whole damn thing and do it all again. Is it correct? Yes, please work. Please work. I don't want to have to do you again because you hurt my head, quite frankly. Come on. Oh, you utter bastard. It's really problematic. All of the components inside, if they're not positioned precisely, the damn thing just does not want to close. And it's a shame because, you know, this is my favourite piece from this lot. And as a standalone bot, this is lovely. I mean, the beast mode is absolutely stunning. He's a lovely elephant former. There we go. Done. There is Ironhide in his elephant form with his free-roaming tusks that move all over the place and really don't lock into place very well. Very successful. Very, very successful. I mean, you can see that it's a shell former, definitely, but it's so detailed. Hardly any posability at all. The ears will move, which is nice. And there's all this sort of techno-organic detailing on the back. And these bits here, which look like earrings, but which are actually parts of Magnaboss's sword. I like to leave them on. I like to think that Ironhide gets his kicks these days out of wearing earrings. But there he is. There is Ironhide in his elephant form. And, you know, it's so fitting. It had to be this or an elephant or a warthog, really. But with that name, Ironhide, it had to be this. He is absolutely spectacularly lovely. Right. I'm gonna go off camera and I'm gonna assemble the pieces for Magnaboss. I cannot transform this fucker on camera. All right, we'll be here until auto assembly if I transform this thing on camera. So, back in a moment. Right. Okay. I have managed to wipe away the blood, sweat, and tears that comes from trying to assemble this thing. And you'll have to forgive me because I've just assembled the fucker. It's one of the big faults of this toy. It's no fun to transform. Unlike Tripredacus, and most of the really complicated Beast Wars toys, who are quite intuitive, they're complex, but you can figure out how they go. This guy's really frustrating in that regard because I had to bring up instructions and look at pictures on the internet to figure out how everything went. And even then, he's like the bloody Lament configuration to figure out. He's an evil pain in the arse. But the results are fantastic. I mean, this toy is arguably not only a stunning combiner, but he is just a stunning transformer and action figure, full stop. He is magnificent to look at and to hold. He's so coherent. Everything goes together beautifully. And he is completely articulate as well. He has a range of articulation that individual bots in Generation 1 never have. He's like a fully functional action figure in and of himself. He is beautiful. He combines all that's very best about the individual components. He brings out their strengths rather than emphasizing their weaknesses. And as a complete bot, the combined form is arguably more successful than Tripredacus. I mean, more people like this guy than like Tripredacus. I love Tripredacus, but a lot of people don't get on with how gangly and alien and flat out fucking weird he is. There is Magnaboss. He is a stunner. In terms of background, Magnaboss is the last combining Transformer. He's the sum of all of the very best components of his individual parts. They've been working together and fighting together for so long that they basically mesh into a perfect singular consciousness, who is more like a legendary Matrix-born hero than a bot. He's more like a mythic figure. He hasn't been seen since the end of along with Tripredacus, he, as a combined form, hasn't been seen since the end of the Predacon Maximal War that followed on from the Decepticon Autobot War. He was actually created as a response to Tripredacus, because Tripredacus is the ultimate weapon for the Predacons. Tripredacus is just living, breathing destruction. He is evil beyond comprehension and can sort of unseat reality around himself. Magnaboss is the response to that, a mythic hero comprised of ancient mythic heroes from the Transformers past, who arises in response to the sort of really big uber evils in the Transformers universe. Now, up until recently, I only had the bot, but I didn't have his weapon. The weapon just completes this guy. You take all of the component pieces from the individual bots and you slot them together like so. Now, how does this work now? That goes in there. Yeah, that goes in there like that. Take Silverbolt swords and clip them onto here, and you have a really, really successful combining weapon mode. A really lovely sword that looks great in Magnaboss's hand. He isn't complete unless he's got his sword, the Magna Sword, as it's known, which also has sort of like mythic magical qualities by all accounts. There he is, Magnaboss with the Magna Sword, and that's another way in which he is more successful than Tripredacus. The silly missile launcher thing from Tripredacus doesn't work. It looks really silly. This is absolutely beautiful, and weighed against, even for all of its faults, weigh it against any G1 combiner and they fail lamentably in the face of it. It's beautiful. Now, yes, hang on 1 minute, hang on just 1 second there. Yes. Now, I thought as an added bonus, I'd show him next to his rival, his Predacon counterpart, the absolutely stunningly, horrendously weird, mutated, brilliant Tripredacus. This is one of my favourite bots from Beast Wars. Full stop. I really love Tripredacus. A lot of people don't. They think he's weird and gangly and too alien looking to function as a transformer. I don't mind that at all. Here they are together, the two rivals, Magnaboss and Tripredacus. They are just amazing examples of why Beast Wars is my favourite line. For me, for all they do have faults, but they are so far in the background compared to the incredible ingenuity and inspiration that's gone into these guys. They're so characterful and weird and wonderful. Stunning toys. If you can get them, then do so. Also, the other Beast Wars combiner, who stands as one of my favourite Transformers ever made. Where is he now? That's this guy, Magmatron. Magmatron is, for my money, the best of the combiners, best of the Beast Wars combiners, and therefore the best combiner ever, and also, or arguably my favourite Transformer ever. I love him. I think Magmatron is an absolute stunner. There he is next to Magnaboss, Magmatron and Magnaboss. Beast Wars combiners. They are just beautiful. And just there he is next to Tripredacus as well. Amazing, amazing bots. Magnaboss isn't that difficult to pick up. I actually got the one I bought for the sword, the whole thing, the whole guy for 20-something quid, which is nothing, really. Considering the quality, the size, the amount you get, you really can't sniff at that. Magnaboss is just an amazing piece of work. As an action figure, as a piece of engineering, he's amazing. So what more can I say, really, other than roll on auto assembly.